from people, and they say they need me to break down Scratch bit by bit. And so, for the next few weeks, this is what we are going to be doing. So, if you are someone who hasn't been able to understand the recent code in the previous videos, this is a good time to sit down and enjoy Scratch coding. Let's call it Scratch 101. So first, you go to the Google search bar and type www.scratch.mit.edu and then you click enter. Then if you haven't registered, you click on the button sign up. But if you have registered, you click on the button sign in. So don't worry, we have a video that we did in lesson 1 about how to register. See the short footage here. So you will go to the Google search bar and type www.scratch.mit.edu and you click enter. And then you go to the button join Scratch. So I will use the username grow with Enzel. And then you make up a password that you want. If you type it again, and if it doesn't match, you will go and you delete and you enter the password again. Now you click next. Then you go to the button select your country. I will click this, and after you click your country, you'll click the next button. You will enter the month you were born and the year it happened. Then you enter your gender and you enter your email address. And you click get started. So when you get here, you will click on the create button. Now that you've signed in, let's start. So this is what the Scratch platform looks like. And here you can see the Scratch logo. Here is the settings, and if you click on it, you can see language and color mode to change the different settings in here. And here you have the file, so you can make a new project. You can save it now. You can save it as a copy. You can load a normal project from your computer and you can save it to your computer. If you click on the edit, you can see restore. So that is if you have deleted a sprite, and you can turn on turbo mode or turn it off. And here is the Scratch title, and I'll call it Scratch 101. And here is the share button and the C project page, but we'll talk about these two later on. Here are the tutorials. And so if I'm done with the Scratch project and you want to check out some more videos or more tutorials, you can always free to click here and check out more. And here is your stuff. So that is where you see all the projects you've made. And this is your profile. So once you've logged in or you signed in, you see your Scratch username here. And you can see your profile picture if you have one. So if you click on it, it's also a drop-down menu. You see your profile, your stuff, that's also the same as the project you've made, your account settings, and you can even sign out. So that's all for the header. Now let's go and start talking about it. So we'll start with the motion blocks. And first, to bring out a motion block, you will click on the block and then you drag it out. Once you've done that, now let's check it out. So you can see move 10 steps. So let's click it and see what it does. So if you click on it, you can see the sprite is moving. So that shows us that to move 10 steps helps the sprite to move. And also again, you can also do backwards. So to do a backwards way, you can do minus 10. And this is an input function. So it doesn't take letters, but the letter E, it can take that. But we'll talk about that letter later on. So first, let's click it now. And now you can see the sprite is moving backwards all the way. So So that means that the move 10 steps makes the sprite move left or right, or up or down. Now the next two blocks we'll be talking about are the turning degrees. So what these two blocks do is that if you join them together, you won't see a change. But let's click on one alone. So this arrow is facing right, so that means the sprite will turn right. And this arrow is facing left, so that means the sprite will turn left. So if we click on it, you can see the sprite is turning right, and if you click on it again, the sprite is turning left. So these two blocks make the sprite turn left or right. So that's what these blocks do. Let's click and drag on the next block. And the next block is the go to random position. So what this block does is that if you click on the block, you see the sprite appears in a totally brand new place. You see that it's different from where it started from, and it goes to different places all the time. And the random position is a drop down menu, and you can see random position and mouse pointer. So let's click the mouse pointer first. Now click it. It goes straight to the mouse pointer, and now you can see why it's facing this way. It isn't facing it, but it's moving towards it. But you can't see the movement. So that's what this block does. The next block is the go to X and Y. So the X is for the left and the right, and the Y is for the up and the down. So if you click it now, you won't see a change because this shows the current position of the sprite. Let's change it to 0 and the 0. So if you click on it now, the sprite went to the center of the whole stage. So, and if you click it again, you won't see a change. So what this block does is that it changes the sprite and moves it to any X of 240 and Y of 0 to 180. So let's try 240 and a Y of 180. If you click that now, it goes straight right up above here. So the X and Y controls where the sprite would start from. The next block is called the glide on set to a random position. So you know as I talked earlier about if you click on the sprite, it just goes to a random position, you can't see the movement. Well, the new function glide makes the movement be visible so you can see how the sprite moves here. So if you click on it, you can see the movement of the sprite going to the different positions. So the glide 1 second makes the sprite go to a new place and you can see the movement. And the seconds depend on how fast the sprite will get there. So if you change it to 2 seconds, it might take some time. You can see how it's getting slower. So the higher the seconds, the slower the sprite moves. The next block is the glide 1 sec to X and Y. So it matches like the go to X and Y, but this time we can see the movement. So let's change it to 0, 0 first. And now if you click on it, it glides to the center. But you can't click it more than once because if you click it again, it doesn't work. Until you change the X and the Y, or you can change the X alone, you'd see the movement. So that's what that block does. Let's scroll down because we're getting a bit down. And so the next block is the point in direction. So this block makes the sprite point towards a place. If you click on it, it's an input and a drop down menu. So let's write 0. You see, it can go straight above and you can do 90 for it to face right or minus 90 for it to face left. Now let's click it. You can see the sprite is upside down facing here. That's because it's facing towards left. But if you don't want it to be upside down, go to the sprite settings, which is down around here. And if you click on pointy direction, you can make it be left and right. That way, the sprite doesn't turn no matter what angle you point the position in. If the position is on the right side, that means that the sprite will face right. And if it's on the left side, it faces left. Let's try 180. It's still right. So the pointy direction makes the sprite point in a different place. The next block here is the point towards block. And what this block does is that once you click on it, it points towards something. Let's see the drop down menu and you can only see mouse pointer. So let's point towards the mouse pointer. You can see that it's pointing only left. So if you can go back to the settings again, you can change it to all around and you can see it's facing the mouse pointer and it's facing wherever it points. So that's what that block does. The next block is to change X by 10. So it's like the move 10 steps, but X only matches for the left and the right. So that means no matter what point direction you point it in, or no matter how you turn it, it would always go left and right. Let's try it now. You can see the sprite is moving right because it's in minus 10 or 10. Now if you click on it and you change it to minus 10, you see that it's moving left this time. So this block only makes it go left and right. And to set X is also like the go to X and Y, but this time it only works for the X. So if we look at the Y is in 0 and the X is in minus 60. Let's change the X to 20. You see, the Y is still 0 and the X is still 20. So that means it only controls the X. So now let's go to the next block. And that block is called the change Y by 10. So what this block does is that it makes the sprite go up or down. So it's kind of like the left and right block, which is the change X by 10. But this time it makes it go up or down. So 10 makes it go up and the minus makes it go down. So if you do minus 10, it goes down. So with the minus, and when it's a minus, it controls how the sprite goes up or down. So I would say that the change Y makes the sprite go up or down. The next block is the set Y to minus 3. You can change it to 0 first. And as I said earlier, the set X only changes the sprites left and right. So that means the set Y will only change the sprites up or down. So if you change the Y to 0, it goes all the way to 0. But it doesn't change the X. So the set Y only controls the Y, but not the X. The next block is the if on edge bounce. So to see this in action, you have to carry the sprite towards an edge. So it's also the way to carry the blocks. You click on it and you drag it. Now, let's click the if on edge bounce. You can see the sprite no longer touches the edge. It comes out of the edge, which means that it stays inside the stage and it doesn't cut out a bit. And the if on edge bounce also changes the direction of the sprites. Let's put it up here for example. If you click on it, you see how it changes its direction. It goes upside down and it goes right. So the if on edge bounce also changes the direction, but in a kind of way because only if it touches the edge. So that's what that block does. Let's go to the set rotation style. So this kind of block changes the setting. So if you click on the direction, you can see this is the rotation style. If you change it to don't rotate, let's go here. You can't see the changes, but if you click on the block, you can see it's straight across. And now you can see before it was on all around and now it is on do not rotate. So some blocks can also change the settings in the sprites. Now we have 3 other blocks to talk about. But first, let's start with the exposition. This block is a Boolean type. So let's put it in the Y block. So if you put it in the Y block, you can see it fits. Let's click it. It changes it by the exposition. It changes the Y, the up or down, by the exposition, which is the left or right. So all these 3 blocks are Boolean effects, and that means you put them inside a block. So the exposition is for, it changes this block by the amount of the X position. And if you put Y, it won't have a change because that's the Y block. It's kind of the same, so it doesn't really change. And the direction changes it by the point the direction is pointing. We might have to bring the sprite down a bit because if you go to the settings and you look in the direction, it's 95. And that's a big change. So these Boolean effects only work when they're put inside another block. It's kind of also cool, right? So that's all for the motion blocks, and I hope that you're able to build something with these motion blocks that I've taught you. Now that we've learned about the motion blocks, I hope that you're able to build something with it. So in the next video, we will learn about the look blocks. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you later!